I'm very pleased to welcome you to the first edition of the 7 Habits of Highly Profitable Franchisees. Today, we are going to hear from some experts in franchising, not only from financing, but from operations and also from marketing. We're very pleased to have one of the leading franchisee companies in America to be here with us today. Omar.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. Me and our panelists are really appreciative that you guys took the time out to be here. So yes, again, Omar Hawthorne, Director of Franchise Development and Community Affairs with Golden Krust. I've been with this company essentially from its inception. It's a family business, 28 years strong, and we are just glad to be business owners who provide opportunities for prospective franchisees and owners like yourself. So today we're going to be discussing business development and how to get you to understand the concept of franchising, whether you want to be a franchisor or a franchisee, but essentially opening your own business. So today, Golden Krust, we span 10 states and we're in 2 countries. We have 120 stores. We're opening 2 stores in Canada within the next month. And we're also within 25,000 supermarkets across the nation as well. We always operated as a Fortune 500 company. We never took on the mom and pop statue. We always wanted to provide good food, good customer service, and a cleanly and professional environment. So how did we get there? Well, a little history about Golden Krust, founded by my father, Lowell Hawthorne, entrepreneur extraordinaire, along with 6 of his siblings. They founded the first store on Gun Hill Road in the Bronx, New York. Anybody from the Bronx here today? All right, so I'm sure everybody knows about Golden Krust in here, founded in Bronx, but unfortunately, it seems as if we live in Brooklyn, because we also have 30 stores in Brooklyn as well. So in 1994, we operated 17 locations as a family, 17 locations across 3 states. A lot of people want to, when they open the business, they want to open the store down the road from their house, next door. They don't want to drive, but you have to drive to where the business is. The business doesn't necessarily always come to you. So we'll talk about finding your target market shortly. So 1996, we applied and became the first Caribbean-owned franchisor to be approved for a franchise license. So that was tremendous. It wasn't easy getting there. We had 17 stores. We were going to spin them off as franchise locations. These stores are different. Some were red, some were blue, some were yellow, some were pink. So we had to get our attorneys, and they said, all right, well, let's make all the stores similar across the board. It's just mandatory for franchising that everything has to be consistent. And of course, with that as well, there was other prospectus documents that we had to put together as well that we'll discuss. So today, as I mentioned, we operate 120 stores throughout 10 countries, and we are still growing. So I want to talk more about the foundational knowledge, understanding the franchise disclosure document, also known as the FDD. Some of these guys selling franchises out here might present you with an FDD. It is a legal document by nature. It provides transparency. It shows what the company is doing. Over the past 3 years, you will see stores that have opened. You'll see stores that have closed. You'll also see an insight in regards to the ownership, or more so the franchisor's leadership executive team. You'll also see any lawsuits, transfers, anything of, but it's a knowledge, it's a good book to have, and I always suggest that everybody reads it. It's a big document, but it is very educational. As it says, educates, and I put simplification because this document, no matter which franchisor you're interested in, the document is same from franchisor to franchisor. It provides an analytical view of your franchisor, and I suggest that we all take the time out to get an attorney to look at this document for you. delivery and acceptance of the FDD. Normally, if you did not get the FDD upon the first meeting with your franchisor, they will either send it to you electronically or through the mail. Once received, you have 14 calendar days must pass before you can sign any binding agreement with the franchisor, which is usually the franchise agreement. You can sign the application, of course, but you cannot sign any binding agreements within the first 14 days. When you receive this document, prospects are required to sign and return the acknowledgement of receipt, and this must be kept on file by the franchisor. So we can't say, or if there's any type of lawsuit going on, they can't say, well, they forced me into the business. No, you had the adequate time of 14 days, 2 weeks, to look through the manual, look through the business, and see what was happening within the company. And we like to call that due diligence. Due diligence is very important when you are looking to work with a franchisor. What the FDD does not do, it does not tell you how the franchisee competes against its competitors. I always suggest, go inside a location. As a franchise consultant myself, I say, go inside the store, see what people are buying. Are they buying 10 patties? Are they buying 5 plates of oxtail? See the rush in the morning for breakfast, see the rush in the evening when people are going home from work. And then go into competitor down the street. And when I say competitors, we like to, as I said before, as a Fortune 500 company that we always operate as, we compete with the McDonald's of the world, the KFCs of the world, the Subways of the world. We look at our Twitter account and I see somebody who says, do I have Burger King, Chipotle, or Golden Krust today? That makes me proud that we're an option that people can consider. The FDD also focuses on the factual information about the franchisor, and it also contains documents that are documents that would relate to the relationship that you and the franchisor would have. Please read the FDD. It is very important. You can hire somebody to do it for you. It gets exciting after the first couple hundred pages, but read the FDD. And look for red flags. If you see a lot of ownership changing, if you see a lot of, when I say red flags, they could put the best marketing materials in front of you. Any company can do that, but the FDD provides you an opportunity to look for closed locations, a lot of transfers, just a lot of inconsistencies within the company. So look for those red flags. So know your target market. A good location and an economically healthy area is very important. When my father first started Golden Krust, do you know how we found our first locations? We would go anywhere the Air Jamaica flew. Anywhere the Air Jamaica flew, we would take our Golden Krust. Now, we're a little more strategically refined today. We know a market. We have to know our markets. We have to know where we're going. We have a vision. Golden Krust exists to take the taste of the Caribbean to the world, so we stand behind that vision. And essentially, we used to put our initial locations where all the Caribbeans were, of course. That's where our stronghold was. But fortunately to this day, today we're able to expand our footprint and step outside of that immediate Caribbean high-dense population. But we know our target market. We know who our customers are, who relates to the product, and who craves the product. But we're not afraid to go into Main Street markets. Currently, we have a location in Grand Central on 42nd Street. I don't know if any Jamaicans live around Grand Central, but it's a high traffic area. It's a storefront where we can know that the demand for the product will be there. People are trying different products. They're trying Asian. They're trying burgers. They're trying pizza. They're trying all type of food, but we want to be part of that conversation. So with those hundreds of thousands of people traveling through every day, we put a Golden Krust there, and it's also a great marketing brand as well. And then you have your non-traditional markets. You enter into a not so oversaturated market, but you're able to sell a product because it is unique. It is one of a kind. Of course, this has to be studied very strategically before you actually put a store in a non-traditional market, but If you do the proper homework and you do your due diligence, you can find success there. Quality training and quality service. Your customer experience is the result of intensive training and strategic value initiatives that maximize guest appeal and create a loyal, satisfied customer. We have something that we call GK University. All of our franchisees, all of our chefs, all of our managers have to go through it. But we also offer, we're committed to offering a learning environment. And the training that we offer is done throughout the year. It's not done just at the beginning when the franchisees are before they open the store, but we offer it to the cashiers and to all the employees as you go throughout your franchise term. Let me get these open. Our training is offered in 3 different styles. We do pre-opening training, we do operations training, and we do marketing training. So before you open, we give you a book, the signing of your franchise agreement, and it's our pre-opening manual. And it will say 18 weeks until you open. In the 18th week, this is what you need to do. You flip the page, 17th week, this is what you need to do. And as you go on and on, you'll be able to see, as you get down to the first week, you're getting ready for store opening. So we want to, as a franchisor, what we do, our mantra is on your own, but not alone. Look for a franchisor who's going to support you as a franchisee from beginning to end. We do not sign this agreement and say good luck and wish you success. We want you to succeed. You know, happy franchisee, happy franchisor. So we're committed to helping you every step of the way. The training that we do offer, again, we're in 10 states, but we do all of our training here in New York City, in the Bronx, New York, at our headquarters. We do it in a classroom setting, and then, of course, we do it in practical sessions within our restaurants as well. The in-store sessions, the training continues. Before you open your store, 2 weeks before you open your location, we're doing training within your store. 2 weeks after you open your location, we're doing training within your store. You'll have a franchise consultant that you can always reach out to if you have any questions or need any assistance. Again, look for support from your franchisor that you are looking to work with. Make sure they want to help you, they want to see you succeed. So how do we continue to open stores? How do we continue to have success? Again, we have a relationship with all of our key vendors. So it's something that we take a lot of pride in. They invest in us, and we invest in them. So we have professionals within this line of business, within the restaurant business. We have architects, we have contractors, sign makers, we have equipment suppliers, we have food suppliers, paper goods suppliers, and dry goods suppliers. And this is very important. Again, as I said, you don't want to join an organization or a franchise who can't really help you. Some franchisors, they'll build out the entire restaurant for you and you pay them back. But you want to be able to join a franchise company who has the connections, who has a network, who's organized. And when you can join an organization, you can really, it's just turnkey. You sign a franchise agreement, we give you this book, you work with us, and we can get you open today. So as I said, as you move forward, as you look for a franchisor or a franchisee, you want to be successful, look for the terms that we talked about today. Thank you.
So at this time, I'd like to introduce our next set of panelists. We have Allan Boomer and Tiffany Hawkins. The floor is yours, and you have your clicker, so you're ready to go. All set.
Okay. Hello, everybody. So we're the money people. Are people here today to figure out ways to make money for themselves and their families? That's it? It's only a couple people who want to make money in here? We can leave if you, okay, all right, that makes me feel a lot better. So he did a great introduction. Again, my name is Tiffany Hawkins. I'm partners with Allan Boomer. We're partners at a wealth management firm that Allan founded called Momentum Advisors here in New York. We get our clients into franchising. We talk to them about their overall financial portfolio and identify if franchising is good for them. And if it is, we kind of help them figure out the right franchise for them. In addition, we also partner with them, which is why we are multi-unit and multi concept franchisees. So we're in a number of different franchises, and we have a number of different locations. So we're going to talk from two different perspectives of how we look at the money side of getting into franchising and then actually being a franchisee, knowing what's going on. One thing that he mentioned is that we do have a radio show on Sirius XM, channel 126 Urban View, talking about entrepreneurship, wealth management, and franchising every Sunday at 11 a.m., and it's called The Momentum Advisors.
So I'm Allan Boomer, and as Tiffany mentioned, we're franchisees ourselves. So we're in, we have 3 Zips dry cleaning stores. We have 4 retro fitness gyms. We're also in a smaller fitness concept called the Max Challenge. And what we like about franchising is that we're sitting up here, but I can hear it. Somebody's ringing up dry cleaning in my stores right now, and we're making money. Somebody's in our gyms, and they're buying smoothies, and we're making money. So what we want to do is talk a little bit about our experience, but also talk to you about some of the things that you must know as a franchisee or a potential franchisee, not just about the money side, but also about what it's like to own and operate your own business, because this is a very complex investment. It's simple, but it's complex. It's simple because it's a business. It's complex because it's a business, right? It's not like buying an investment fund like a mutual fund. It really has some details to it, and we'll get into that in a little bit.
So one thing that we like to tell everybody about when they're considering getting into franchising, we use the term frenemy, right? And don't get mad at me here. When you're dealing with a franchisor, they're a little bit of your frenemy. They're your friend in that they're your partner in business. They're going to give you the tools and the information you need to get open and hopefully be successful. But they're your enemy in the case that you have to watch your own back. The decisions that they make are not necessarily in your best interest. And so you have to always be mindful of some of the conflicts that go on. For instance, for you, your goal is to get a location up and open and be very, very successful. The franchisor's goals, that's nice too, right? But their goal is to get as many locations open as possible wherever they can get them open. One bit of a financial conflict, just to put things into perspective. Franchisors get royalties. That's how they get paid off every location. That number could be anywhere from 4 to 10% of your gross sales. So what that means is every dollar that comes into the store, they get 4 to 10% off the top. Every single month or every single week, however way they determine to take it. Now, they haven't thought about your rent, your payroll, you haven't paid a bill, you haven't bought a cup, you haven't bought anything. But they get their money first, and whatever's left over is for you to pay your bills and then hopefully make a profit. But if you don't, that's not their problem. So when we talk about frenemy, again, they're there to support you. We really do believe in franchisor relationships. We think they're strong relationships, but you do have to watch your back. So let's talk about the different ways that franchisors make money and the way that franchisees make money. So you want to change? Oh, okay. Franchisors make money off of a number of different ways. The first way is the franchise fee. That is just the fee you pay to say you want to get down, to say you want to be a part. It doesn't get you anything, not a free t-shirt, not a uniform. And the franchise fees, oftentimes, it can be anywhere from $5,000 to $75,000. And again, this is just to say, hey, I want to be on board. This money does not get applied later on. It doesn't get you anything. But the franchise fee is the first initial way that the franchisor makes money. Second, we talked about is royalties. Once you get open, now your franchisor is going to do everything in their power to help you get open because they need to get their second round of money, right? And that comes from royalties. From the day that you are open, they get a percentage of your sales in whatever way they come in. And again, that's off the top. That's before you've paid, again, your rent, any payroll, or anything of that nature. That is how they consistently make money. So when we use the term frenemy, it is important for them that you are successful because the more successful you are, the more royalties they get, right? And so it matters. But they've oftentimes got hundreds of franchisees. So if you're not making money, there's tons of other franchisees that are. You have to have your best interest in mind. You can't expect them, to find you and say, hey, we got to do better, what's going on? Because they've got an entire system to worry about. The third way they make money, and there are a number of additional fees, right? So when you're dealing with a franchisor, one of the great things about dealing with a franchisor, they take care of a lot of things for you. They provide you with an equipment vendor. They give you help. They give you the playbook on how to make this thing work. they do national advertising for you, but you have to pay for that. So there is oftentimes a national advertising and marketing fund that every franchisee has to pay into just to support the budget for them to advertise on a national level. Now, guess what? Even if they don't advertise on a national level, you still have to pay this fee. They choose to do what they want to do with the money, but you do have to pay into the growth of the advertising of that brand. You may oftentimes have to pay a local advertising fee. If a specific franchisor breaks their groups down into regions and has regional advertising, you will have to pay into that as well. Not in replacement of, but in addition to. Other fees, software fees. There's a good chance that if you're dealing with a franchisor where there's some sort of special POS system, some sort of special technology, you will have to pay a fee on that. And this fee is taken out every month. And again, it can be based on your sales. It could be a flat rate. It's a number of things that it can be based off of, but it is taken first. Like before you paid a bill, before you made any money for yourself, before you paid yourself. Now, as a franchisee, how do you get paid?
Profit.
One way only, which is profit. So after all those fees are taken away and everybody else is paid and you kept the lights on and you kept it clean, whatever's left is yours, right? Now, I don't want to make that seem scary, but we do want to put things into perspective, the things that you have to think about. Because again, when you're dealing with a franchisor, while it is a really great community to be a part of, you got to watch your own back. So we want to equip you with the information to know what's really going on.
Great. And I think, it's funny, I see Omar sitting next to us, and I hope we're not, saying anything that would make you uncomfortable. But all we're trying to do is basically say, like, you guys have rented an apartment before, many of you, and you know that the landlord has provided you a place to live, but it's up to you to make sure that the lease is right and that you can afford it. And that's all we're saying is that they're your friend. They're helping you by giving you a brand. They're helping you by giving you a playbook on how to make money, but there's also some conflicts. Just like with your landlord, there's a conflict. They might want to charge you as much money as possible, but you need to find a place that you can afford. And so that's all we're really talking about is both sides of the coin.
And as we continue to talk, please do not get it twisted. We really do believe in franchising. We would not be in as many concepts and have as many units as we do. But again, we've gone into it very educated, and we want to inform you guys just as much because it's very beautiful for us to see people in the room that look like us, and we want you guys to get into these businesses because they are very profitable, but it's work, right? And we got to know what's going on.
So the next question a lot of people ask is like, how much should I invest? The first thing we say is with any investment, you have to think about how much you can afford to lose, really. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to lose it, but you don't want to be in a position where you're completely wiped out if, God forbid, things don't work out for you. So we usually try to tell people to max out at about 20% of your net worth. That means if you've got $100,000 net worth, you can invest about $20,000. Now, if you guys have already walked the floor, you'll see there's not a lot you can get with only $20,000. So now we think about, well, how do we get more money? Well, one way is by getting other people together. Imagine if you got 3 or 4 people, you guys all think alike, you guys are friends, you guys respect one another. You guys can, now if you have 4 people, now you got, or 5 people, now you have 100,000, right? The next component is loans. You can go to a bank and take out an SBA loan, and if you walk the floor, there's a lot of lenders out here. Typically, you can finance through a loan anywhere from 70 to 80% of the cost, right? So that means that your $100,000, you could really go out and invest, $500,000 or $600,000 once you take out a loan. Now, it doesn't mean that there's no risk because the bank wants their money back, right? But again, if you think about a franchise that says it costs $1 million to invest, drop that down to 20, 30% of that, $200,000-$300,000, because that's the amount of money that you'd have to come up with. The next thing to think about is where does the money come from personally? So you can use your own savings, or you can use, if you have a 401k from an old job, or you've got an IRA, you can actually use your retirement dollars to invest. And you can do it in a way that does not cost you any fees or taxes or penalties. It's a little complicated. You need to hire a company that structures this for you, but you can use your retirement dollars to start a franchise. We've done it. We have clients who've done it, and it's a great way to get into business because a lot of people have the money right now and don't realize it. Like your 401k, your IRA, that's investment dollars. Why not put it into a business where you have some control versus putting it into the stock market? Now, the last thing I'll say about these numbers is think about, again, we talked about how much can you afford to lose, right? So it's the cash you put down, but then if you borrow money, the bank's going to want their money whether the business works out or not.
So there's a few things that I'm going to touch on, but I could stay here all day talking about marketing, but I'll give you the main habits of highly profitable franchises because we've done work for Domino's Pizza, we've done marketing for Jamba Juice, TGI Fridays, Golden Krust. So we know a thing or two about doing the marketing for highly profitable franchises, right? So you guys probably hear about traditional marketing and digital marketing. So traditional marketing, I'll give you guys a few steps. So let's go back about 10 years or even longer. When you do marketing, it was focused on billboards, it was focused on newspaper, magazine, print ads, right? Those are the things that when you're marketing, those are the things you used to do. Fast forward now, it's a social media world, right? It's a digital media world. Everyone is on their phone. Everyone is looking at their phone. Everyone is paying attention to their phone. So it's only right that as a business owner that you make that adjustment with your marketing and switch over to the digital aspect as well. I'm not saying to forget about the mailers or forget about the magazine, but keep a mix of marketing when you're approaching your business, right? So each thing could work in its own way. So don't put all your eggs in one basket, what I'm trying to tell you. So do a mix of your marketing, right? And then from the social media standpoint, the digital media standpoint, you can focus on social media, influencers, email, website, and mobile. So once again, focus on mixing up your marketing strategy from the digital standpoint and from the traditional standpoint. Right? Branding, very important. So now, once again, you have your brand, you have your business, and you want to promote your business, right? Three things that you want to focus on when it comes to branding: be consistent, be authentic, and be transparent. It's very important because your customers will tell if you're lying. Your customer will know if you're not authentic. Your customers will know if you're not transparent. So another habit of being successful as a franchise or franchisee is understanding your branding. Understand the branding that you're working, making sure that your branding is consistent across all your marketing materials, making sure that your branding is transparent when you engage with your customers. Content. So once again, I'm leaning more into the digital aspect of it, just for this specific session. So content could be a lot of different things, right? So now we're talking about how do we engage with our customers? How do we bring value to our customers, right? Because now there's no longer one Golden Krust, right? One Caribbean business. There's not one gym. Your customers have options, right? So the idea is, how do you stand out differently from your competitors? What can you do? So it's all about bringing value to your customers. And you bringing value is, once again, developing content, developing the right videos, developing photos, developing things that your customer want to share, right? That's how you're going to grow the business. Things that they're going to want to engage with, things you're going to want to share with a friend. And these things could be a lot of different things. One, from videos to photos to Instagram stories to articles to press releases. Once again, focusing on your content is a big deal. Why? Once again, the Golden Krust of the world, the Domino's Pizza of the world, these companies are being successful because they invest in content. They invest in getting their message out to their customers. Tell a story, right? I always like to focus on the story part of it because, once again, your customers, and we're gonna talk about one slide I'm gonna talk about is people, but telling a story is really what matters when it comes to engaging with your customers, right? So once again, your customer have options, right? They could go to 10 different businesses that look just like you. They have options. So tell a story because people connect with a story. They connect emotionally. You have to emotionally connect with your users. Your users have to they're not just going to follow you just because they want to follow you. They're going to follow you because they believe in your product. They believe in what you're selling, and they believe in your brand, right? So once again, build that emotional connection, tell the story, engage with your customers, and connect with them. Advertising, right? So this is a huge deal. Advertising now is like having electricity for your business, right? There's no way you can say, okay, great, I'm going to invest in a franchise. I'm going to either a franchise, I'm going to start my own business, but you don't think about marketing. There's no possible way you can do that now, right? Once again, there's so many competitors that you want to invest yourself in. You want to invest in marketing. If you're going to talk about, I'm going to get electricity, you're going to talk about you're going to get water, talk about getting advertising and marketing for your business as well. And advertising and marketing could come in different formats, right? So from social media ads, whether that's Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads, influencer marketing, retargeting, native advertising, mobile advertising, and even banner and search ads. And I know a lot of this is a lot to take in, and I'd love to share more with you guys as far as each individual thing, but we're on a time schedule. But we'll share as much information as possible. But highly profitable franchises invest in advertising. So once again, when you're thinking about starting that business, when you're thinking about, I think Allan also mentioned it, that when you look at an FDD and you look at all the expenses that you're going to be you're going to get as a franchise, advertising is definitely one of them. So definitely make sure you have the funds available for advertising. The capital. All right, this is my favorite one, right? If you guys don't leave here today, remembering anything I said from the last 4 or 5 slides, if you guys don't even remember my name when you leave here, don't forget this part of it. Highly profitable franchises invest in people. It's very important to understand people, right? It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what franchise you own. It doesn't matter what business you're in. You have to understand people. Very important, right? Think about it this way. Everyone on here, they have fears. They love. They care. They have needs. Every one of us, right? So when you think about marketing, when you're thinking about connecting with people, when you think about having a business, think about the people that's going to actually come through your door, right? So from a marketing standpoint, whether you're sending out an email blast, you're sending out a text blast, you're creating any type of advertising material, just remember, the person on the other side of that computer, the person on the other side of looking at that marketing material is a person just like you, right? So when you create your message, when you create your materials, just remember that you're talking to another person. There's no need to shout. There's no need to over-exaggerate. Just talk to people like they want to be. Once again, and even in the social world, right? Everything is now social, so you really have to understand people, whether it's from your customers, whether it's your employees, whether it's your partners, whether it's your vendors. It's very important to understand people. Like I said, if you don't take anything else away from me today, understand this. It's very important to understand people. Understand how to market to them, all right? Adapt to change. Another big thing that we see here, and there's a lot of stories of businesses not adapting to change, not seeing change and really accepting it. A lot of businesses, they're really scared of change, right? So from innovation, right? So based on the business you're investing in, whether it's a restaurant, whether they have a new loyalty program coming out, virtual reality, augmented reality, cryptocurrency, understand and invest in technology. Adapt to change in the sense of, okay, there's going to be a new way to collect customers' data, or there's going to be a new way to get your customers to order from you, right? So one thing I've seen, I have a client that when we used to, it's a restaurant, right? Cuban restaurant. And one thing we told them a few years ago was like 3-4 years ago was like, look, let's get into doing online orders where customers could order from you online, right? It was very new. They was very iffy about it. But we convinced them to do it anyways, right? Fast forward, now, just from online ordering, now, they're making an additional $250,000 a year. Did you guys hear me? Okay, right? So that's the idea of adapting to change, investing in innovation. Look at what's coming out and see how you can apply that to your business, right? Once again, it's another big one for highly profitable franchises. Measure your success, right? So now we do all this marketing. We connect with all the people we want to connect with. We do all these things, but we're not measuring the success. So make sure you're also measuring your success. Measuring what's working and what's not working, right? Very important. If something's not working, Either you could optimize it and try it again, or cut it, right? But always optimize what's working so you know where to invest your dollars, you know where to invest your time, you know where to invest your resources. So once again, measure your success, optimize, analyze, do your benchmarking, track your competitors, do all of that stuff, but make sure you're always measuring your marketing, measuring your success of what you're doing.